You gave them everything. You were loyal. You were present. You showed up every single day. You supported their dreams. You listened to their problems. You loved them when they didn't even love themselves. You were there, always there. And they still chose someone else. They looked you in the eyes and said, "I love you," while planning to meet someone else in 2 hours. They held your hand while texting someone else under the table. They kissed you goodnight while thinking about someone else. And now you're sitting here asking the question that's destroying you. What did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Was I too much? What did they have that I didn't? Here's the answer you don't want to hear. You didn't do anything wrong. And that's what makes it so much worse, because if you did something wrong, you could fix it. You could understand it. You could make sense of it. But you didn't. You were enough. You were more than enough. And they still destroyed you. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain about the psychology of cheating will shatter everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and why people destroy good things. This isn't about romance. This is about the ugly, broken truth. People don't cheat because you weren't enough. They cheat because they don't feel like enough. Let me explain. When you're always available, always supportive, always loving, you become a mirror. And in that mirror, they see all the ways they're failing. You're patient, they're not. You're loyal, they struggle. You're confident in the relationship. They're terrified. And instead of rising to meet you, instead of working on themselves, they look for someone who doesn't know them well enough to see their flaws yet. This is what psychologists call self-sabotage. When someone doesn't believe they deserve good things, they destroy them before they can be taken away. You love them completely. And that scared the hell out of them. Because deep down, they don't believe they're worthy of being loved like that. So they prove themselves right. They cheat, they lie, they destroy the relationship. And then they get to say, "See, I told you I wasn't good enough." It's not about you, it never was. It's about the war happening inside them that you couldn't see. Let's talk about what cheaters are actually looking for. Because it's not about the other person. It's rarely about them at all. They're looking for a feeling they lost somewhere along the way. The feeling of being new. When you've been together for years, they're not a mystery to you anymore. You know their patterns, their moods, their tells. You can predict what they'll say before they say it. And for some people, that comfort feels like death. They remember who they were when they were unknown, when someone was still discovering them, when every conversation was fresh and every touch was electric. Now they're just known, and being known feels like being trapped. So they find someone who doesn't know them yet, someone who thinks they're fascinating, someone who laughs at jokes you've heard 100 times, someone who sees them as exciting instead of familiar. It's not that you're boring, it's that they're bored with who they've become. And instead of doing the hard work of rediscovering themselves within the relationship, they look for someone else to make them feel alive again. People cheat when they feel invisible. Not invisible to you, invisible to themselves. They look in the mirror and don't recognize who's looking back. They've become someone's partner, someone's parent, someone's employee, but they've lost track of who they are. And when someone new shows interest, that person doesn't see the tired, stressed, ordinary version. They see someone worth pursuing, someone desirable, someone interesting. And for people who feel dead inside, that attention is like CPR. It makes them feel real again. Here's the ugly truth about why people cheat when you're always there. Your presence reminds them of their absence. You're showing up. You're trying. You're present. And every time you do, it highlights how much they're not. You ask them how their day was, they feel guilty because they forgot to ask you. You plan a date night. They feel pressure because they can't remember the last time they initiated. You say, "I love you." They feel shame because they're not sure they feel it back anymore. Your love becomes a measuring stick for their inadequacy. So they find someone new, someone who doesn't know them well enough to expect anything, someone they can perform for without the pressure of actually being consistent. With you, they have to be real. They have to show up through the boring parts, the hard parts, the mundane parts. With someone new, they only have to show up for the exciting parts. It's not a relationship, it's an escape. And here's what breaks you. While you're home waiting, loving them, being loyal, they're with someone else, pretending to be a version of themselves that doesn't actually exist anymore. They're not choosing someone better. They're choosing someone who doesn't know them well enough to see through the act. They're not happy. They're not fulfilled. They're not even enjoying it most of the time. They're running from something inside themselves that no amount of external validation can fix. Some people cheat because they hate themselves. They look at you loving them and think, "You don't really know me. If you knew the real me, the broken, damaged, messed up me, you wouldn't love me." So they prove it. They become the monster they always feared they were. They cheat, they lie, they destroy the one good thing in their life. And then they get to say, "See, I told you I was broken." Some people cheat because they're terrified of intimacy. Real intimacy, the kind where someone actually sees you. Surface level connection feels safer, easier, less vulnerable. With you, they have to be real. With someone else, they can stay surface level forever. Some people cheat because they're addicted to the high, the rush of being wanted, the thrill of the secret, the dopamine hit of something forbidden. Your steady love doesn't produce that chemical rush anymore. It's too stable, too predictable, too safe. And for people addicted to chaos, safety feels like suffocation. Some people cheat because they never learned how to handle boredom. Life gets routine, relationships get comfortable. Healthy people understand that's normal, but some people mistake comfort for death. So they create intensity elsewhere, not because you're not enough, because they don't know how to exist without drama. Here's what they don't tell you when they cheat. They're not thinking about you when they do it. You think they're weighing their options. They're not. In that moment, you don't exist. Their brain is flooded with excitement, validation, desire, and you're not even in the equation. And after, the guilt, the shame, the what have I done? But by then, it's too late. Most cheaters don't leave you for the person they cheated with, because the affair was never about them. It was about escaping you. Once the thrill wears off, they realize they didn't find someone better. They just found someone different, and different isn't a better. Some come back broken, some stay silent, none of them are happy, because you can't run from yourself. Eventually, wherever you go, there you are. But here's the part you need to hear. You made a mistake too, not in loving them, not in being loyal. Your mistake was making yourself too available. You replied to every text instantly. You dropped everything for them. You gave financial help, emotional support, unlimited access. You gave and gave until you were empty. And psychology shows when something is always available, it loses perceived value. People don't cherish what cost them nothing. You had no boundaries, no limits, no consequences, so they stopped valuing you. Not because you weren't valuable, but because you taught them you were free. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-respect. Your availability should match their investment. Your effort should match their consistency. Set boundaries. The right person will respect them. The wrong person will leave. Let them. Choose someone who chooses you, not when it's convenient, not when they're lonely, but consistently. Choose character, because feelings fade, character stays. Watch their actions, watch how they handle conflict. Watch if words match behavior. Marriage magnifies everything. Choose someone who builds you, not someone you have to chase. If someone cheated on you, it's not because you weren't enough, it's because they weren't enough for themselves. Stop giving everything to people who give you nothing back. Set boundaries. Know your worth. Choose wisely. You are precious. Start acting like it. And when you find someone who treats you like you matter, that's worth keeping.